Hey, what's going on there, guys? So, as you guys can tell by the title, we have some grim news to tell you guys. With the introduction to the new PTB 3.3.0, which I hope all you guys are very much enjoying, as I did myself. I got to see the archives for the first time, and I was pretty impressed with what I saw. Haven't really got to really mess with it too much. I just wanted to see what the assets look like and the visuals and all that kind of stuff. But with the introduction with 3.3.0 came a new Unreal Engine with the game as well. We are now using Unreal Engine 4.22. And so the developer build and past builds were using Unreal Engine 4.21. Back when this game first came out, we were using Unreal Engine 4.13. This was before we got the new lighting upgrades and things like that. We could have even been using an older version than that back in the day, but as far as I know, when I first started playing the game, we were always using 4.13. Then when we went from 4.13, we went to point 20 to point 21, and now we're at point 22. So trying to load assets from a different engine into an older engine just simply does not work. I don't know the technicalities of why it doesn't work. It just doesn't. Coding, I don't really know too much about, but it's just the way the engine reads the assets that it just can't read properly, and so therefore you get things like crashes and things like that, and it just doesn't work to your liking. I tried getting Michael's new outfit into the developer build. I also tried doing the new Ghostface outfit into the developer build, and all I was getting was crash to the desktop as soon as I got to the press start screen. So that's how I know for a fact that this is because of the new engine version. You usually would typically never get a crash to the desktop for putting new outfits into their directories. So Alright, so where does this leave us from here? Well, I'm never going to be able to do in-game cosmetic renders, at least with any of the new content, unfortunately, and that's just the way that it is. However, I still can get into the game using uModel, and I can still show off the cosmetics using uModel if you guys so wish to see that. I can also still rip the files from the game. I can still load those assets into Unity, and from Unity I can make VR chat avatars as always. So that's still pretty good, I guess. I mean, it could be worse. We could have well, not permanent, because there's always going to be somebody to decrypt it, but it could be worse, where we can't even get into the game files through uModel because they put some sort of new AES encryption. And if you guys aren't familiar with AES encryption is, it basically puts it encrypts the files so that we can't actually snoop around in there. You would have to find the decryption key to basically get into the uModel, well, to get into the game using uModel. Funny thing is, with the introduction with 3.3.0, we do have a new form of AES encryption, but it seems to only trigger through Quick BMS. For whatever reason, Quick BMS is triggering the AES encryption through Dead by Daylight using this new 3.3.0 build. However, through uModel, it seems to load the assets just fine, and I don't really know the reason or rhyme or reason as to why that is, but I mean, as long as if I can get into the files and I can still export all the content from the game, I'm a happy camper, don't care, I guess. But yeah, it really does sadden me that I can't actually put files into the developer build anymore, and it just completely makes it useless from here on out. I mean, at least we still have the developer build in case we ever wanted to just like mess around with the game through old builds of the game, but as far as the future is concerned, it is completely outdated from this point forward. So yeah, saddened, but I guess I'll just explain how me and Michael did this. We kind of kept this a secret just because we kind of liked doing this for the community, and it was just kind of fun to do, him and I, on our own. It was nothing personal or against the community at all, and at one point I was going to explain how to do it at any rate, and now's the time as any to just tell you how we did this, and maybe you guys will come up with your own ways to getting content to work with a game using a different build of the game. So I'm spreading my knowledge to you guys. Maybe you'll figure something out that we never did. So quickly I'll explain how this kind of worked. So how were you able to get cosmetics to work into the game? Well, it was fairly simple. It was just a bunch of trial and erroring. So the new Blight models were kind of a challenge for us because they used different effects on some of the newer models like the Plague and the Spirit. So what you really had to do is you had to obviously you had to grab the raw assets and the raw folders from the game and use those very same folders and assets and overwrite any type of files that it asks you to. So for instance, if we want to get, I don't know, let's say we wanted to get the new Michael Myers skin into Dead by Daylight. Well, all we would have to do is go into the slashers folder and then copy the Michael_Myers folder and then copy and paste that into the developer build of the slashers folder. Overwrite any existing files because it's going to copy pretty much everything from that folder. So copy and replace anything that it asks you to, and then you had to grab the data folder and overwrite the data folder in your developer build. And if you wanted basically like the localization, basically what the localization folder was it basically asked you for like the descriptions for the characters, the descriptions for the cosmetics or character portrait fixing, all that kind of stuff. So that's what the localization folder did. It's not a necessary type of folder, but if you did want all that kind of juicy information, then you would also copy and replace that over to the developer build as well. So again, it's a bunch of trial and erroring. You basically just unpacked, say 3.2.0, and then basically put the files in the correct corresponding spots on the developer build, and then sometimes you get lucky and it works. I would say the biggest challenge for me and Michael was trying to get the Demogorgon working and Steve and Nancy. For whatever reason, they weren't working just by plugging them and playing them, and that's because you also had to grab the new armatures for those new slashers and killers, which were in slashers and campers, which were in a different folder. So yeah, a lot of trial and erroring and a lot of research goes into this, and that's how we eventually figure it out. But yeah, I'm just really saddened that we can't use this build anymore. So you'll still see content for this channel. It's just not going to be in-game leaks anymore. It'll probably just be me snooping around uModel for you guys and just kind of looking through the files of what we have. Obviously, I'm still going to be doing my Unity renders for you guys, but I'm probably not going to do every single cosmetic because it just takes way too much time to export these models, then rig them up properly for Unity. And I've already explained this many times that it's just a very rigorous trial and error for that. And so that's kind of why I like the in-game leaks a lot better, was because when I was using the in-game leaks, I didn't have to export anything. I just had to plug and play in the right spots, which would only take me maybe about 10 minutes tops, and then I could just launch up the developer build showcasing those new cosmetics I just put into the game files, and it would just work. So yeah, guys, cue the "In the Eyes of an Angel" song right now, because it is a very sad day for us in the developer build now. But hopefully you guys get some knowledge out there as to how to get the developer build working on your own, kind of playing around with the files and updating the developer build for yourselves. I saw that Leaks by Daylight also showcased in their Discord channel. They have how you can get dev versions of the build. I don't think this actually works, and I'm not discrediting them at all. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong, but I did try doing that method where you put -dev -console in Steam, and then downloading the correct app ID with the correct depot ID and then the manifest ID. When I tried doing that with the latest build that we got, which was October 7th as of this video, or I think it was October 6th, I don't remember, it was not actually downloading the game correctly like it did with the developer build. It was downloading the packs in pack chunks, and you can't do anything with pack chunks. The game has to be in a raw file format, a raw file folder in UAsset format. It can't be in pack chunks. It has to be all unpacked. That's the only way you're going to get this to work. Now, if I do discover things in the future, I will definitely see if I can get those working in the future. But as for right now, it's pretty grim for the old developer build, and I'm kind of just sounding like a broken record right now. So Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Yeah, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Right now I'm going to do a little bit of some exporting within Unity for the 3.3.0 developer build, or sorry, not developer build, there is none. I'm going to be doing some exports of the 3.3.0 build. I want to try to get some of the archive assets ripped, and I kind of want to put them and incorporate them into my avatar world at some point, so that'll be really cool to have the archive um, type assets within the avatar world. So I'm going to try to put that in there somewhere. I also kind of want to do some model exports. So yeah, if you guys play VR chat, I'm still working on that. Right now I'm just a little busy with school and other things. So do look forward in the future for that. Anyways, guys, I'm Necrocrafts, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.